So starting in Tadasana, we're going to start with some breathing to get centered today. So last week we went over full yogic breathing, which is this concept of breathing in and out of the nose, but all the way into the belly. And then as we move up, so we start in the belly, then we bring the breath up to our rib cage, and lastly to our chest. And then on the exhale, we let the chest come back in, then the rib cage, then the belly. So it's this idea of very intentional breathing throughout the lungs, and so that you're really getting the oxygen moving and oxygenating all your cells and just really regulating your nervous system and getting your body ready for your yogic practice. So we're going to add on to that today. So instead of just full yogic breath with our hand on the belly and on our heart, we're actually going to move with our breath. So I'm going to invite you all to first go ahead and start to channel that full yogic breath. So maybe you start today with a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest, inhaling through the nose as the belly expands and the rib cage comes out to the sides, and lastly the chest might rise, and then exhaling, letting the chest fall back in, letting the rib cage come back to its natural position, and then letting the belly contract. Inhaling once again, starting in the belly, moving up as the breath deepens until it reaches the chest. Exhaling as that breath drops back down, letting the body parts contract, the belly come back in. So maybe finding your own rhythm here. And if the full yogic breath is a little bit too complicated and it doesn't feel relaxing, everything that I am teaching you all or offering you is just an offering. So you always can come back to just diaphragmatic full belly breathing. So breathing into the nose and letting the belly come out, and then exhaling as the belly comes back in. I find myself using that breath the most commonly and typically, so definitely just do what feels right for you today. But full yogic breath is an offering. So finding your own comfortable breath here. And how we're going to add to the full yogic breath today is we're going to do what's called a full yogic breath flow. So we're actually going to start with our hands near our belly, and we're going to inhale as we move the hands up with our breath until we stretch up and over our head. And then on our exhale, we're slowly going to bring the hands back down, following the breath, and take it into a gentle forward fold. So you're really bringing your hands down towards your feet on the exhale, and then pausing at the end of your breath, and then inhaling as we once again use the hands to outline our body, taking a slow, deep inhale up, exhaling once again as you follow your own breath, letting the hands go at the own pace of your exhale. And so this is really helping us warm up the breath and the intentional breathing, but it's also helping us warm up the body now, because we're really engaging the core, we're stretching those hands up above head, we're stretching the backs of our legs. Doing it at your own pace, but just following the breath. Doing 2 more on your own pace, on your own time. Breathing in as your hands move up your body, and exhaling as your hands move down the body. Maybe finishing with our hands above our head wherever you are, bringing the palms together And then bringing them down to the center of your chest, backs of the thumbs pressing into your chest bone. Taking a deep breath here and taking a moment to ask your body, maybe gently closing your eyes, what is it that I need today? What can I practice in my yoga practice today that will help me throughout this day, throughout this week? What is the intention that I want to set for the next 30 minutes? What are the hints that I've been getting of things that I might really need right now, but I've been pushing off? I've been telling myself I don't have the time for that. I'm too busy. Is it relaxation? Is it movement? Thumbs pressing into your chest bone. Really checking in with your heart here. What is it that I need today? Gently opening the eyes. Bringing your hands down to our sides. And go ahead and remind yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to give myself whatever it is that I need. I have full permission. If I need peace, I'm going to breathe in lots of peace on my yoga mat today. If I need a challenge, I'm going to push myself a little bit harder in today's asanas. But take this time for you. So now, keeping that intention in your mind for the rest of the practice today, I'll probably bring your attention back to that intention throughout. We're going to warm up the body a little bit more. So full yogic breath, warmed up the spine a bit. We got the back of our legs a little bit stretched out. But let's do some goddess squats to really open up the hips, because a few of the asanas we're going to do today are hip openers, and I just want to make sure that we're warmed up enough wherever we are. So bringing our feet about the width of the mat, and if you don't have a mat, you're just practicing on your floor today, bringing your feet about 2 to 3 feet apart from one another. So out wider than hip width apart, and then you're actually going to point your toes out to the sides so that each make about a 45-degree angle. So toes pointing out. And we're going to start with just some wide-legged squats. So maybe your hands are on your thighs. We're really trying to keep that spine straight, our shoulders back, and just squatting into those hips, really warming up the legs, warming up the lower part of our body. Maybe using our breath here. So on each exhale, maybe we're sinking down. On each inhale, we're pushing back up. Doing one more where you are, and then we're going to add in some hand movements, and we're going to start opening up the sides of our bodies as well. So on your next drop down into the squat, I'm going to invite you to bring your left hand up and over your head like you're reaching over a beach ball. So we're going to inhale, standing up tall, exhaling as we come down, reaching your hand up and over, maybe like 45 degrees over to the right side of your room or your mat. Inhaling back up tall, and then exhaling again, now bringing the right arm up and over, really stretching that right side of our body. Inhaling back up tall, straight. Exhaling as we once again reach over with our left hand, and we're just going to go back and forth. So following our own breath, maybe whatever hand is not up and above your head, you're placing it on your thigh, but really exhaling to stretch over, inhaling back up, exhaling, squatting, stretching over, inhaling back up, really feeling the warmth in your hips and also on the sides of your body, in your arms. Maybe speeding it up if your breath is a little quicker today, slowing it down if you need a little bit more relaxation. Let's do 2 more wherever you're at. And once you're ready, let's go ahead and meet back into Tadasana, so maybe heel toeing your feet back to about hip width apart, so feet right underneath your hip bones. We're going to check in with our posture once again. I know we did this slightly at the beginning of class, but let's just really make sure that we're grounded, our posture is up straight. So let's start at the feet. So checking in with our feet, are our toes spread out wide? Are we envisioning that triangle with the 3 points underneath our feet? So 2 on the balls of your feet, 1 in the heel. And so you can envision that triangle on both, and make sure that your weight is evenly distributed. So if you lean forward, lean backwards, lean side to side, you can really find that middle ground where you feel you have even weight pressed into all 3 corners of both triangles. As we move up the body, checking in with the knees. Are we keeping the knees soft? Not really hyperextending them, putting too much pressure on them. Moving up to the hips, into the pelvis. Checking in with that idea of your pelvis should be like a bowl of water, so you can really imagine that you don't want to tilt forward and you don't want to tilt back, or you're going to lose all the water. You really want leveled hips, a leveled pelvis, engaging that core, moving up to the shoulders. Maybe we roll them up and back as we bring our palms to face towards the front of our mat or the front of the room. And then checking in with our chin. Is it parallel to the floor? Are we grounded? Are we standing up tall? Do we feel like our spine is straight, being elongated? Maybe taking a second here just to close your eyes. Feel what proper posture feels like. Shoulders away from the ears, chest is open, core is slightly engaged. Maybe taking note of how this feels right now, so that this could possibly be something that you take off the mat with you later today. Maybe you check back in with yourself tonight. Maybe you do Tadasana or mountain pose, which is what we're in right now. Quickly, whether you're in the kitchen, cooking up dinner, or maybe you're sitting watching a movie and you just want to check in. You can even just do the upper half of your body if you're sitting on a couch. Just making sure that you're in alignment, your chest is open, your core is slightly engaged, your ears are not tensed up, or your shoulders are not tensed up by your ears. And if we want to get even more, a little bit more specific, adding to this, a great way to check in with your posture and your tension is to check in with your jaw. So also something you can do off the mat, but just release your jaw while you're watching a movie and really intentionally take the tongue off the roof of your mouth to relax the face. We carry so much tension without even realizing it sometimes. So from Tadasana, we're going to come into Vrikasana, or tree pose. So we did this asana last week, but it's a really great one to get grounded and to work on our balance. It's one of the most common balancing postures. So we're going to do it again this week. So I'm going to start by inviting you to shift your weight over to the left leg, still keeping that left knee soft. And we're going to come up onto our toes on the right foot. So really pressing up off the heel of your right foot, putting most of your weight into that left leg, really grounding into that left foot. And as the toes are up and off the floor on the right foot, we're going to rotate the knee out from the hips so that the sole of the foot is now facing your left leg. And then we're going to decide what is it that feels right for our bodies today on where we want to place the foot. So do we want to bring the foot in to the ankle. So the toes could still be pressing against the floor, but maybe the heel of the foot just comes onto that lower left ankle. And we kind of use this as a kickstand. This is a great way for a beginner to start to practice this balancing asana. Now, if you're feeling like, I want a little bit more of a challenge today, I really want to balance fully on that left foot, you can also bring the foot off the floor onto your calf. So really pressing in with your right foot into that left calf. And if you want to be challenged even more, I invite you to use your hand to gently bring your right foot up to your left thigh. Once again, really pressing in, keeping that left knee soft, but pressing in with the right foot into that left leg, keeping your legs active, really pressing that knee towards the right side of your room or your mat. So once you find a comfortable position for your legs today, I'm going to invite you to start to engage the upper body. So we're going to inhale our arms up and above head, bringing the palms to meet over our head, and then on the exhale, we're going to bend the elbows slightly as we release the shoulders away from the ears. So palms of the hands are pressing into each other above our head. Our elbows are pushing away from one another as we bring the shoulder blades towards each other, maybe even to kiss behind us. And then bringing our glance or gaze into a stable point in front of us. Maybe it's right at eye level. Just really using that gaze to find your balance, to find groundedness here. Staying active in both arms, really pushing the elbows away from one another, out to the sides. If this is uncomfortable for you, I invite you to bring the hands down to your heart space. So this is another way to do tree pose. Maybe if you have tight shoulders or high blood pressure, it's typically recommended that we bring the hands to our chest instead of above the head. Really keeping those legs engaged. I invite you to mentally affirm after me, I am calm, I am poised. Taking one more deep belly breath on your own here. Really envisioning yourself like a tree. Maybe you can imagine roots growing out of the bottom of that left foot, really keeping you grounded and stable, giving you all of Earth's life energy. And on your next deep breath, I'm going to invite you to stretch up the arms up and above head, kind of like you're yawning in the morning, really pressing out of those fingertips, growing tall like a tree. And then on the exhale, we're going to circle the hands out and around our sides, maybe using our hands to gently release the foot, coming back into Tadasana or mountain pose or just a neutral stance, where we're going to gently close our eyes and take a moment to observe the energy within. Giving our body some time to recalibrate, to absorb the benefits of that asana. Maybe being an observer of our body, feeling the difference between your right and left leg right now. Gently opening the eyes back up as we move on to the right side of our body. So we're going to gently shift the weight into our right leg, keeping the right knee soft, bringing the left heel off the floor, rotating that knee out towards the left side of your mat or room, and then bringing in the foot to whatever feels comfortable for you today. So maybe you're placing that heel on the, or right above the ankle as your toes press into the floor. Maybe we'll bring it up to the calf, or maybe we'll bring it up to the thigh. Whatever you do, you don't want to be pressing into that knee. Once you've found a stable place with both legs, really using the left foot, pressing it into the right leg to find your stability, maybe finding that point in front of you to gaze at to keep your balance. I'm going to invite you to inhale the hands around and up over your head where the palms will come to meet, and on the exhale you can go ahead and bend the elbows and release the shoulders away from the ears. Opening up the chest here, imagining that you're like a tree, really craving the sun. Staying open, staying grounded. Maybe envisioning those roots that are coming out of the bottom of your feet into the earth beneath you. Maybe they're providing you with energy or strength or peace or calmness. Whatever it is that your intention was guiding you to today, whatever it is that you need, I'm going to invite you to envision that quality coming from the center of the earth up into your feet and up into the rest of your body. Here I invite you to mentally affirm after me, I am calm, I am poised. Taking one more deep breath wherever you are, letting it all go. On the next inhale, I'm going to invite you once again to stretch those hands up and above head, growing tall like a tree, and then exhaling to release the hands back to your sides, releasing gently the left foot, coming back into Tadasana or mountain pose, where we're going to gently close the eyes and once again observe the movement, the energy, the feelings, whatever it is that you want to think about, but just observing the way that your body feels after that asana. Instead of releasing it and letting go after a challenging asana, I want you to guide that energy in and up so that it's providing you with energy for the rest of your practice and the rest of your day. And you gently open the eyes back up. The next asana that we're going to be doing today is a new one, and it's Utkatasana or chair pose. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it quickly to you before I walk you through how to do it together. I'm going to turn to the side just for the demonstration so that you can see what my body looks like. But we're going to be bringing our toes together and our heels together. If you have a blanket, you can go ahead and put it underneath your heels. But this one has a breath that's a little bit different than typically in an asana, so I'm so sorry about that. My phone was making noises and I wasn't sure if it was still recording. So going into Utkatasana, I'll walk us through exactly the specifics, but the breath is what's a little bit different. So we're actually going to inhale as we come onto the balls of our feet, palms facing up. We're going to hold the breath as we sit back into our chair, and we're not going to exhale until we're grounded in that chair position. And so this is the first phase of the asana. The second phase, if you're feeling up for it and you have good knees, you can also come into the second phase where we'll come into a full squat. And then to get out of this asana, you have the option to either sway your arms behind you, using the momentum to push you all the way up, or if you're in this squat and you feel maybe you have sensitive knees, or maybe it's just easier and it feels better to plant your hands in front of you and really gently push yourself up. Either or works, whatever feels right for you today. So coming into Utkatasana together now, bringing your feet together so the big toes come together, the heels come together. We're going to inhale as we bring the hands up in front of us, coming onto the toes or the balls of the feet, holding the breath here, palms facing up, as we sit back into a chair. So imagining that there's a little wooden stool behind you. And once you're seated, you feel grounded, go ahead and release that breath. Start to breathe deep and diaphragmatically here, using your breath to hold this posture that can be a little bit challenging. Maybe you start to shake a little bit. If you want to, you can also plant your heels back onto the floor, or you can stay on your toes for a little bit more of a challenge. Really trying to keep the spine up straight, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. I invite you to mentally affirm after me. My body is no burden. It is light as air. Taking one more deep breath here. And on the next exhale, I invite you, if it feels right for you, to come into that second phase. Still on our toes if you want to. And just really bringing your hands to face up towards the sky, onto your thighs. Checking back in with our spine. Are we sitting up straight? I invite you once again to mentally affirm after me. My body is no burden. It is light as air. Taking one more deep breath here, letting it all go. And then using either of the options that I showed you, whether you sway your arms back or plant the hands in front of you, to meet back in Tadasana. So once again, standing up straight, feet come about hip width apart. We're standing up tall, we're engaging the core, our shoulders are away from the ears. Gently take this time to close your eyes and feel that energy from chair pose, a challenging asana, that really gathered a lot of energy in the legs, to bring that energy in and up. Feeding your brain with that energy. I made you gently open the eyes back up. And now we're going to move on to the floor. So however it is that it feels best for you to get there, we want to start crisscross applesauce on the floor, or what's called easy pose. So for me, I know I'm just going to bring my palms to the floor and sit back onto my bottom, feeling in a crisscross applesauce position. And once we're here, we're going to start to get ready for our next asana, which is known as Baddha Konasana, or bound ankle pose. So I'm going to invite you to start by bringing your feet out in front of you. So sitting on the floor, maybe if you have a blanket today, you can go ahead and sit on the blanket, giving yourself a nice little cushion for your tailbone, for the end of your spine. It'll also help you sit up a little bit straighter. So I'm a big fan of using the blanket as much as we can. Feet come out in front of you, maybe flexed. And so we're going to start today by bringing both feet in towards our bottom. So knees are going to go up towards the sky, feet are going to come in. Maybe they're about 6 inches away from our bottom. Really keeping our spine straight, our posture for the upper body is still up tall. Maybe we're still imagining that gold string pulling us up, elongating the spine. And I invite you to bring each of your hands to the respective knees, where we're going to start to gently guide the knees towards the floor. By no means do they need to touch the floor, should you be pressing your knees into the floor, but just bringing them gently towards the floor as the soles of your feet start to press together. So they're like this, and then as we bring the knees, the feet can start to come together like this. Here, I invite you to personalize this asana for your own body today. So it really depends on where you're flexible and maybe where you're a little bit tighter, but some people enjoy this asana with their feet pressed away from their bottom more. So you can move your feet out, you can keep them in the middle, you can bring them really close into as close as you can into your pelvis and your hips. So go ahead and take a minute to figure out what feels good for you. Once you've found a position that feels nice, maybe you bring your hands to your feet. Maybe you give them a nice little rub. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just clasp your fingertips and wrap them around your toes. Whatever you do with your hands, once they're planted or placed where you want to keep them, I invite you to go ahead and check back in with that spine. So it's easy to drop the shoulders and start to round the spine here, but actually we want to stay up straight. We want to keep the shoulders back and away from the ears. And so we're going to do this asana in 2 phases, much like we've done in past forward folds. So the first phase, we're going to remain active in the spine. So it's an active phase and a relaxation phase. So the active phase is where we really keep the spine straight. So no matter how much we're folding over, we can barely fold forward because we're going to fold at the hinge at the hips. But we really want to keep the spine straight, our posture in alignment. So maybe it's just here for phase 1. And the second phase is where I'm going to invite you to really round that spine and create a little safe space or inner haven of your own. So let's go ahead and do the first phase together now. So planting the feet and the legs wherever feels comfortable. Once again, maybe your knees are up here, that's okay too. And just finding a comfortable place for your hands. With a straight spine, we're going to inhale to really elongate up, stretching tall. And on the exhale, we're going to come into phase 1 where we hinge at the hips, keeping the spine straight, and start to come forward. Maybe our gaze comes towards the front of the mat. But not yet rounding the spine. So keeping the spine straight, even if we move just a half of an inch forward, we're going to feel that in our hips. We're going to feel like we're really opening up. If you'd like to, you can move your hands. Maybe you're able to come a little bit forward and you want to bring your hands up in front of you so that they're in alignment with your gaze. Breathing deeply here. Maybe with each inhale, you're elongating a little bit more. Maybe with each exhale, you're hinging a little bit deeper into the hips. I invite you to mentally affirm here after me. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Taking one more deep belly breath wherever you are, letting it all go. And on our next inhale, we're going to elongate one more time. And on the exhale, you can start to round the spine forward as the crown of the head comes towards the mat. So now your spine can be a little bit more rounded. Maybe your chin comes in towards your chest. Maybe your shoulders hang a little bit heavier towards the mat. Maybe you create what feels like a little inner haven, a little space of your own. Letting gravity do its part here. Pulling you a little bit deeper into this stretch. I invite you to mentally affirm here after me. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Maybe using your breath here, and on each exhale, maybe you are able to sink a little bit deeper into your hips. Hinging a little bit more forward, but still listening to your body, only finding a gentle stretch here. I invite you once again to bring your attention back to that intention that you started with here. What is it that you need today? Can you inhale that quality? Can you exhale any negative self-talk or anxiety? in. One more full deep breath, letting it all go. Then I'm going to invite you to place the hands onto the mat if they're on your feet, as we're going to use the hands to press us back up to a seated position. So inhaling now to press up, to come sit up straight, to release the feet back towards the front of your mat. Maybe we place our hands on our thighs facing up as we find ourselves in a neutral posture where we give ourselves some time and space to absorb the benefits, to guide the energy in and up. Maybe to marinate in whatever quality or intention you have for class today. Just taking a moment for you here. Gently fluttering the eyes back open as we come into our last asana before Shavasana today, which is going to be an inversion. So we've done this one before as well, but it's called Matsyasana or fish pose. And so an inversion is any asana where your heart is above your head. And so this is really great for bringing brain flow to the head. And yeah, it helps with things like memory and brain fog, and just has some really powerful healing qualities. So in Ananda Yoga, we like to finish off the practice with an inversion. That being said, we're going to be coming onto our backs today. I'm going to turn around so that it's a little bit easier for you to see what I'm doing with the upper half of my body. But I'm also going to be vocalizing very specific cues, so no worries if you can't see it once you're laying down. But coming onto our back, so our feet are together out in front of us. Maybe we're even pointing our toes. Our hands are by our sides, palms facing down. Our head is looking up at the ceiling, not strained at all, but very neutral. And I'm going to start by inviting you to roll onto the right side of your body as you're able to lift up the left buttock and bring that left hand right underneath that left sit bone. And then go ahead and let your weight come back onto both sit bones. So your hand is right underneath that left buttocks, and your forearm is also kind of underneath the left side of your body. And maybe your elbow of your left side is bent a little bit. Then we're going to roll onto our left side of our body, bringing the right hand and right forearm underneath the right side of our body. Right hand should be directly under the right sit bone. And so now we have both hands and both forearms underneath our body. Our chest is starting to peel off the floor a little bit. That's normal. We're going to inhale here to ground. So grounding into the feet, into the hands, into the forearms. And on the exhale, I'm going to invite you to raise the chest, imagining that string pulling you up towards the sky as we gently start to lift the head off the floor only slightly. So ideally, you want to be able to fit maybe like a piece of paper right underneath the head. So your head is just gently hovering. You're not jackknifing your neck. If you need to, you can even rest on that back corner of your head very softly, but you're really mainly pushing into the forearms, the hands, and the feet. The heart, like I mentioned, is now above the head. You're really opening up that chest to receive all of the light. You're really feeling a stretch in your chest as the energy is able to move from your chest to your brain, helping with your memory, clearing up any brain fog. I invite you to mentally affirm here after me, my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Really floating here, grounding into the earth beneath you as your chest floats as you feel a lightness in your body. Taking one more deep breath here, letting it all go. And on your next inhale, I'm going to invite you to bring your head slightly off the floor if it's resting. As we start to bring our head back to the floor, maybe our arms straighten out. And then one by one, rolling onto each side of your body while you release each hand and arm from underneath you. From here, we're going to meet in Shavasana. So bringing the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, turning those hands over so palms face up towards the sky. Maybe readjusting our head and neck so that we find a comfortable position. If you have a blanket near you, you can go ahead and cover yourself up now, or you can even put the blanket underneath your knees. That can take a little pressure off your lower back if this Shavasana, asana tends to be a little bit irritant on your lower back. So whatever Shavasana position feels right for your body today, just meeting me there. Today's meditation is going to be done in Shavasana. And so with that being said, it's just really a time to relax our body fully, giving our body permission and the chance to absorb all of the benefits of today's yoga asanas, releasing any tension or pressure, and really just bringing the attention up to the brain. So if your eyes aren't yet closed, go ahead and gently close them as we bring some awareness to the parts of our body that are being cradled by the earth beneath us. So maybe it's the heels of your feet, or your upper thighs, and your buttocks. Maybe it's your shoulder blades, your arms, the backs of your hands. Observing what parts of your body are being directly held by earth, feeling safe and secure, and releasing a little bit more in those areas. So maybe imagining them turning into a honey-like substance, just melting into the earth beneath you. Relaxing so deeply that those body parts feel heavy. Maybe they even feel like they turn to stone. You're relaxing deeper and deeper into the earth beneath you. Feeling safe enough to let go. To let go of control. To let go of tension. You are so supported in this moment. As you relax your body more and more, the energy within is able to move in and up, bringing that energy to your brain. Taking this time to watch your thoughts without any judgment or control. You are safe. You are exactly where you need to be right now. So just watching each thought pass by. As we start to bring some attention to our breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Watching each inhale and exhale as a way to calm the brain, calm the thoughts, to be really present in this moment. breath here to inhale that intention or some good quality that you really want to carry with you. Maybe it's throughout today or this week or just this moment. Maybe you want to inhale love, serenity, exhale worries or pressure. Meditation is all about whatever speaks to you. So maybe you just continue to watch your thoughts for the next 2 minutes. Or maybe you watch the breath or use intentional breaths. Whatever it is. We're going to lay here in Shavasana for just a couple of minutes, really giving us some time to sit with ourselves, to find that inner peace. Whenever your mind strays, you start to plan what you're going to do later today, or start to worry about maybe an unfortunate life circumstance right now. I invite you to bring that awareness back to the breath, watching each inhale and each exhale. Maybe breathing in light. Exhaling any negative thoughts. Continuing to relax deeper and deeper into the earth beneath you. Relaxing, feeling safe and supported. And we're going to start to bring some awareness back into the body and into the room. So maybe we start by noticing if we hear anything besides my voice, or smell anything that may be in the room or in the house. Bringing some attention into our fingertips, and into our toes, wiggling them gently. Gently starting to guide your knees towards your chest as you bring the hands to the knees, maybe rocking back and forth, swaying side to side. Giving your lower back a nice massage. And then I invite you to bring that right hand up and above your head, creating a pillow with your right bicep as you bring the knees towards the right side of the floor or the mat, coming into a fetal position, letting your head rest on your bicep. Maybe your eyes are still closed here. I invite you to take a moment to thank your body for showing up today, for engaging in a nice yoga practice, that's really stimulating your organs. It's helping to regulate the energy within, to give your nervous system a nice break. Thank yourself for showing up today, flooding yourself with gratitude. And when you're ready, no rush at all, bringing your left hand to the mat and then your right as you press back up to a seated position. Easy pose, so crisscross applesauce. Sitting up straight. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. As always, I'm only email or chat away, so always feel free to reach out with any questions. But thank you for being here, and more importantly, I hope you all thank yourself for being here. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.